Well, let's not waste any time because we have a lot to unpack today. But I just want to take a second before we jump in and introduce my two guests today, Monica and Tiffany, both from QSLM. So, Monica, Tiffany, if you guys want to introduce yourself and just want to say we're excited to have you here with us today.
Thank you, Sarah. So I'm Tiffany Cooey. I'm the Executive Vice President of Sales and Marketing with QSLM. Excited to join you today with Monica.
Hi, I'm Monica Bonilla, also with QSLM, and equally as excited. I'm one of the regional sales team members, and there's a whole group of us that I hope are on this call as well. So we're very excited.
Awesome. Well, Monica and Tiffany and I work closely together. They are a user of SalesMail, but one thing that I've noticed in a lot of our conversations is they are constantly working with communities that are in high occupancy or even 100%. And so we got into the topic of how sales professionals often believe life gets easier once you reach high occupancy or even that golden 100%, that the selling's done. But the reality is that success creates a whole new set of challenges. So today we're going to talk about how selling changes when your community is full or even getting full, and how you really have to work to build intentional relationships, and how staying consistent and motivated, and how your role changes from filling apartments to
Mhm.
nurturing the families and future residents. So, to start talking about that, I think we have to first talk about how selling changes. So, how does it go from you have all of these apartments to fill and you're constantly moving people in to shifting to, hey, we don't have anything ready yet, but we would love for you to join a wait list. So, ladies, I would love to hear anything that you have to share from your communities or your experience.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference is we kind of joke that it turns into playing chess now because now you've got different pieces of people that need to move. Because when you start your wait list and your apartments are full, you may have people that want a certain unit. Um, and you build that wait list internally first. So you have your internal residents that are wanting a certain unit, then you have your external residents as well. But when a unit opens, like, okay, well, I have to move, this resident over to this apartment, that'll free up theirs, and this person's waiting for that unit. So we kind of joke it turns into chess because you're kind of moving pieces a lot. And that's where having amazing maintenance team makes all the difference because they are just turning those units for you. And so again, to your point, it changes from, I've got this one bedroom that I can sell to, okay, a studio just opened. Now I'm sliding this person here and moving them all around. And so that's kind of where you start really having to have that tight pressure and start to build that wait list and kind of change, your whole perspective of what you're doing instead of just, having them available, put them in there. You have something that they want. Now you're having to kind of start selling people on maybe what they don't want because they want to get a unit with you now. It's like, well, I have this open right now. If you take this unit, you're on our internal wait list now, and we can get you on the wait list for that next unit that opens up. So I feel like that's kind of like the first big shift is your mindset of starting to move pieces around instead of being able to just sell what you have.
Absolutely. Monica, anything to add to that?
I think one of the things that Tiffany touched on is you are working with your maintenance team, but we all talk about it takes the entire team to sell. When you get to this point, it's big exclamation point on that. It takes everyone because you can't move that person if nursing doesn't think it's a good move, if maintenance does, and if somebody, God forbid, goes on vacation, you're now really struggling to get those chess pieces moving, just like Tiffany explained earlier.
Absolutely. I can say the community that I started at when I first started there, we were in the 50% for occupancy. And so it was a long journey to go up. We went through renovations, we went through a complete interior remodel. And I
Wow.
always remember that 100% being that front of mind, like, oh, I can't wait till we get to 100%. Like everything we've been working for is going to be accomplished. And it was. It was a great celebration. We worked our butts off for it. But I think that I really had to, as an operations manager, change my mindset. It wasn't just my salesperson. My salesperson was ready. She had been in a 100% occupancy community before. She knew what a wait list was. But for me, on the other end and managing multiple departments, it was a big mindset change for me because I did suffer from that. Oh my gosh, we are full, so we don't have to sell anymore. And this is going to be great. I just have to keep my residents happy now. And so it was definitely something that I had to train. But I think both of you have kind of touched on it does take the whole team. And I think that's
Yeah.
true even when you're not at 100%. So one of the big things that I learned through senior living is it's not the same as all other sales. So, how do you guys think that that kind of builds in? We're in a relationship building selling instead of transactional selling. And that's true for all senior care in general and all of the adjacent industries to senior living. So, how do you kind of see how that plays into being at high occupancy or 100%?
Speaking from traditional sales, when I was in college, I sold newspapers, and so it was very transactional. I mean, we were in like a call center, so it's like they're dialing for me. I'm trying to sell a newspaper. They say yes or no, and I move on to the next person. There's never any contact again. I don't know these people. Even if they say yes, it's a 3-minute conversation, and I'm on to the next sale. Where senior living is so much deeper than that. I mean, you're doing so much discovery. You're getting to learn all about these families and their past, and what they used to do and who their grandchildren are, and you're really developing these deep relationships with them. And I think even more so on the wait list than you are whenever you're in live operations, because if you have, or sorry, not live, but comparing that to like a wait list for pre-development is very similar to having a wait list when you're 100%, because you've got to continue to massage those relationships constantly so they don't move on to the next opportunity or someone that can meet their needs right now. And so it's really just getting to know them and building those relationships so you can call on them and stay, maintain where you're at with them now. You don't want to lose that momentum by just letting them fall off of your call rotation and who you're developing those relationships with.
Kind of building on what you said about staying connected with your residents, with their family members, with those influencers and decision makers, how do you think that changes when somebody is on a wait list? How does that communication change? What do you do to nurture them so that they're not going to the next community? Because let's be honest, if somebody is touring your community, they're most likely touring other communities. They're having conversations with other people. And sometimes we get lucky and they are just in the research phase and they're okay with being on a wait list for a couple months, but sometimes they are not. Sometimes they're ready to move right away. So how do you kind of separate that and start nurturing that wait list?
I think a lot of it comes, a lot of us are nurturers, so we do try to do that. But at the end of the game, sales is all about the sale. So we have to try to combine those two things together. So a lot of it, it's kind of like I was talking to Tiffany about it earlier. It's like some people have their Amazon cart, and you have all these things that if we won that lottery, we would have it. How many times do you go into that Amazon cart and look to see if the color you want is still available, to make sure the size is still there? And at the same time, you're getting messages from other department stores. Oh, this is on sale now. Come get it. Well, the same thing's happening in senior living. You might have them on your list and you know this person's going to move in, but we don't know what's happened. If we're not touching with them, if we're not making those connections, we don't know. Are they in crisis mode? Are they now getting that alert that says, oh, we're waiving the community fee if you just come in, and it may not be the room that they want, but they want it now. So if we don't nurture them, if we don't build that relationship and make them part of our family now, they're going to be drawn by those crazy specials that are going on that are going to take them to a room that's not really what they want.
Anything to add on that, Tiffany?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's building that excitement as well of like that FOMO, like if your building is full, they're missing out. And so it's building that excitement within that relationship. We had something just pop open. You don't want to miss out on our community. Like you could go to the community down the street that has openings, but why do they have openings? Why are they not full? Like we're the ones that are building all the excitement. Don't you want to stay here with us? And just continuing, to nurture that, sending them, videos, sending them, different things when you think about them. You're just constantly trying to just, like I said, massage that relationship. So you stay front of mind to them. And you also have that relationship like, well, why would I go somewhere else? Like I've built this relationship with Monica. Like Monica's my person. And so I'm going to move in with her because, she checks on me and she cares about me.
Right. And I think that is true for the rest of the team. So we've already talked about how it takes the whole team to make that sell. And so I think that's true for nurturing the wait list too. It's one of the things that I found was really important is it can't just be the salesperson and the executive director. It's got to be like maintenance has to touch in and say, hey, this is where we're at with turning your room. and activities has to touch and say, hey, we're having this activity and you're already a future resident, like come enjoy it with us. And so I think that's where it can, you can nurture your wait list, but it doesn't have to fall on one person on your team. And I think that's something that every community has to build that before they get to that 100% occupancy. And then that kind of separates you. So jumping into the real moments to nurture your wait list, because you can't just say, I'm going to call everybody that's on my wait list on Monday at 9 a.m., because then it's just a repetitive thing on your calendar. You're not doing it because you're building a relationship. You're doing it to mark something off your to-do list. So what are some times that you guys are like, hey, this is when we need to reach out, we need to touch base, we need to continue that building the relationship with your prospects?
I think that's where good discovery comes into play. So you see what's important to them. Are meals important to them? Are activities? Are events? Do they love playing bunco? Do they enjoy, shuffleboard or pickleball? And you've got a pickleball tournament coming up. So you try to make it as personal as possible to them based on the discovery that you've done. So you know what to invite them to. Ideally, you want them in your community at least once a month while they're on your wait list, whether you're inviting them to come join for a meal, like a special meal you're having, an activity they're interested in. Maybe you've got a men's Bible study coming up and that's important to them. It's something you can invite them to as well. Just whatever is important to them is how you want to tailor that to your activities program, your dining program, of something going on in the community. And again, to kind of what you said, Sarah, they're already on your wait list, right? They're already committed to coming to you. So why not go ahead and make them part of the family while they're still outside waiting to get in? And again, you're continuing that excitement, that FOMO, like, I don't want to miss out. Like, oh, I can still come to the luau. I can't wait to be there. And then, having your activities director call and invite them. So, you're not always the only person they're calling. Because again, the more people that you get invested into these families, the more they're going to feel connected to you and they're not going to want to go somewhere else. As we all know, once you get a sale and you move them in, we're supposed to kind of gently pass them over to the operations team. You got your executive director, you've got your chef, you've got your activities director that are really going to take care of them, your wellness team. And so having them be a part of it, maybe you're having a blood pressure clinic at your community and, it's something that it's really important to them to be somewhere where they have a nurse 24/7. Well, maybe you have your wellness director call and invite them to the blood pressure clinic. So then they're building relationships with your activities director, with your culinary director, your executive director, your wellness team. They're building those relationships. So you're not the only one that they feel connected to. You're introducing them to the whole team. And again, the mindset shift, like the whole team is part of the sales team. We're all involved in making people feel welcome and feel at home. And really promoting the community as the place to be. And that's because not only do you have to get to 100%, if you're bringing them in, the other side of being that 100% is having your ops team locking them in. They're not moving out. They're staying because they're having a great time and we're taking good care of them.
Anything to add to that, Monica?
So the biggest part too, as a salesperson, we need to quit thinking of ourselves as just a salesperson. So we're the person that they are counting on. We are the one that's directing the traffic. We're the one that's bringing them here and putting them in the hands of our operations team. So when we call, we're not just calling to check in, call with a purpose, be proactive. Yes, we have a room that's coming up, call and let them know. It may not be the room they're looking for, but you have one that's coming, and it lets them know that number one, you're going to call them when their room's coming available. You're calling them to come in, as Tiffany said, bringing them to the activities, having them in the community. Let them start building those other relationships, the ones with their future best friend, because those are the people that they're not going to want to move away from. They're the ones that they're going to want to see every month and every day and have fun. And then before you know it, your residents are the ones calling to invite them. So now you have transitioned them into part of the family too. And it's not just about the sale. So make it personable and be intentional.
I love that. I think too, one thing that we kind of implemented in the community I worked in was having dedicated meetings to talk about them, because it's a big life change for everybody that moves into a senior living community, but especially when they are having to wait to make that change. And so do you find that your teams, both operationals and sales, are having dedicated meetings? They're having dedicated times where they can really talk about, hey, who's on our wait list? How can we nurture them specifically? And is that something that you've kind of implemented into training and onboarding and how you teach your sales directors to sell?
So it's definitely something we talk about. We have a morning meeting. Every morning we do stand up, but we also have a board that has all of our communication on it as well. So we've got our hot list, who we're kind of working, who's at risk. I mean, all the things that we want. All of our numbers are up there that we update every day. And so it's definitely a conversation we want to have as a part of that to continue to nurture those leads. Like, hey, these are the ones that I'm working on this week because I want to make sure that we keep in touch with them, that I've got this coming up. And the more intimately you can have your whole team get to know who's on your wait list, the better they all can bounce ideas off of you too. Like, hey, like, didn't you say Miss Jones really likes art class? Like, we have that instructor coming in next week. Would that be a great idea to invite her in? So really making that part of the conversation, to your point, and stand up when you're doing that is a great way to kind of propel that forward and making sure everyone's invested in that.
And it's important for the team to know who your top wait list are, who are the ones that are the most urgent that you want to move in. Because like Tiffany said, let's say that you do have a fishing trip planned and you have a gentleman that he is, a good Southern man that loved to go hunting and fishing and everything else. This would be the great opportunity to invite him. And instead of the salesperson inviting, this is where a ambassador could invite him, or when your activities director calls and says, I'm saving you a seat on the bus.
And so you mentioned resident ambassadors, and that's one of my favorite. Do you feel a shift in the atmosphere of a community when they are full and occupied? Do you feel that not just from your staff that works there every day, but from the residents themselves? Because I know in our community, there was almost a sense of pride, like, hey, we're full, and it's almost like you're elite if you live here because you have to wait on a
Mhm.
wait list now. Do you guys feel that too in some of your communities?
Absolutely. I think that the residents, they know when an apartment comes open before you do. They used to come and they would be outside our door. Who's moving in? Who do you want me to call? So they are excited about it too. They want to say our building is 100% and we have the best neighbors. So it does do a shift. They are very excited about it as well.
Yeah. That sense of pride comes in, and to a lesser extent, that elite status of like, I'm one of the chosen that gets to live in this community because it's 100%. And you want to kind of nurture that a little bit of like, yes, we are, this is the place to be. And so they want to join that, and
Absolutely.
then they want to help you welcome new people in too. I mean, they'll stop and say like, oh, who's coming to tour today? They'll be the ones asking you like, hey, like, I've seen Miss Smith has been here for lunch 3 months in a row. Like, when are you getting her an apartment? Like, I'm doing my best. I want her to be here too, just as much as you do. But when you get them involved, they're following up with you too, because they're like, hey, like, I really enjoyed playing bridge with her. Like, I need another partner. Can she come?
You always are talking to your prospects. They're normally number one, especially on that wait list. But let's talk about how you also have to nurture their family members and their influencers. How do you think that changes when there's a wait list in play? Because I know I have had lots of conversations with adult children and siblings and grandchildren about why I can't move mom or dad into a room right away, why it takes time to renovate a room, or why there are people on the list ahead of them. So, how do you kind of navigate those conversations with family members?
That is so much harder when you're working with the family instead of the resident, because the resident, you're building excitement and it's all fun. Because most of the time that means they're a little bit more independent and they're able to wait. But when you have a memory care resident or you have an assisted living resident that is starting to, show a decline, and that family really wants to get them in now because they're really ready. Um, it's more about reassuring them like, hey, like, I can stop by and do a home visit once a week and I'll go visit with them. It's also about having good in-home care partners too. So if they are really getting to the point where they're just not able to be at home by themselves, instead of going to another community, we can kind of talk about the options for in-home care and getting them set up with someone that we trust, that we use a lot, to help make that, while they're still at home, smooth and safe for them as well. So I think it's about listing your partners there to kind of rely on them. If hospice is involved, you've got hospice, then you've got in-home care stopping by, plus you're doing home visits. I mean, it's just different things that you can do to continue to reassure them that everything's, going well. And if you're dealing with like maybe a son or daughter that lives out of town, like, they're not laying eyes on mom every week. So if you can be their eyes for them and their ears, and maybe even sending your car or your bus to go pick them up for an activity if they're not driving, and letting them know like, hey, like, we're gonna come pick her up, we're gonna take her here to our community, and we're gonna, keep her for lunch and have an activity, then we'll bring her back home safely. So there's a lot more touch points, I feel like, that go with the families of just like the reassurance. The communication has to be good, right? You've got to let them know, like, we just had someone move in. Now you're number 2 on the wait list. I anticipate getting an apartment open on this day. Like, they want more of the facts, and they want to know that their loved one is going to be safe while they're waiting on you. So you have to continue to reassure them that everything's okay, that you can help step in, that you've got great partners that can help as well. Um, and so it definitely is a little bit different whenever you're working with the families.
And it can be different to a point where you're helping with the planning phase and you have to be realistic too. We've all had those families that are just in that crisis mode, that desperate mode. Know who
Right.
your second community is that you would say, I may not have a room, but this community might. It's scary to think of sending somebody to a competition, but if somebody came to me and said, I'm full, but this is who you need to go to, that trust is there, it's firm. So they'll be like, and many times they'll say, well, we'll wait as long as we can. But if we can't, it's nice to have an option. Because let's be real, most people on a wait list, you're not the only wait list they're on.
Right. And I think that's so true. Tiffany, you brought up having partners specifically in home care. I think that's, can be really vital, especially if they're like, hey, I feel like I can hold on for that month or 2 months. But
Yeah.
the biggest thing that I find is a circulating topic here is just open communication, and how we communicate with our prospects versus how we're communicating with our family members might be a little bit different, because our family members are not going to have that excitement around moving in the way that prospects are. But I think, Monica, you bring up a great point. You have to know your competitors, and you have to know which ones you would actually send a resident to if you needed to. And I
Yes.
think that really comes down to, we're not in that transactional selling position. We
Right.
are taking people's livelihood into our hands, and we need to make sure that they're getting the best care. And
Mhm.
just because we have the best care, if we don't have it available, sometimes we have to send them to the second best. So that's a great point to bring up, Monica. So I want to move into how we can actually start nurturing a wait list once we've started one. And I think that's just by breaking it down into different aspects. So obviously, when we first build that wait list, for us, it started happening because we had certain floor plans that were
Mhm.
sought after, but we didn't have
Yeah.
a ton of. So specifically in the community I worked in, we had 8 two-bedroom apartments.
Okay.
And for all of my women that love shoes and clothes and all of their tangible items, a two-bedroom was a must. So they were always full. So we started with a wait list for two-bedroom apartments. And one of the biggest things that I found was you really had to set expectations. You cannot
Mhm.
always say when you're going to have apartments ready, especially in senior living. Move out happen unexpectedly. And so, how do you think that you can really set expectations for a wait list and what it's like when you're joining that wait list?
Yeah. We had a community, and it's a little over 10 years old now. So we had mostly studios that they built, and then we have 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms. But our assisted living was on a wait list for years and years and years. It's still a very highly occupied community, but the expectation that our sales director set with the family was, you're going to have to move into a studio. Like, I know you want a 2 bedroom, I know you want a 1 bedroom, but my residents come first. And so if you want to get that larger unit, you're gonna have to take a studio, and then I will get you on the wait list for the next one that opens up. Like, you're number 3 on the list now, but if you want to be part of our exclusive community, you have to take a studio and able to get there. And so it was just that setting the expectation, to your point. Like, I'm not gonna have a 1 bedroom that's gonna open up. That's gonna go to someone on my external wait list. It's always gonna be someone internal. So letting them know what to expect. If you want to be in our community in a larger unit, you'll have to be in the studio for a small amount of time. We'll do everything we can to accommodate it to make it bigger. We'll add extra shelving for you. We can change out some of the doors. We actually took out and put in like smaller, like, bifold doors, so it would take up less space for them. So they had more closet space, just little
Yeah.
things like that. But letting them know up front that what they can and can't expect from that list. Like, when are they going to get an apartment that's going to be open? When is that going to happen? You want to be realistic with them. Like, hey, like, we've had one studio open in the last 2 months. So, looking at your number 3 on our wait list, it's probably going to be about 2 months before we're going to have that available. But until then, we want to bring you into our community, want to invite you to events and allow you to still join and be part of it. But letting them know what to expect makes all the difference. Because again, it's that open communication that's building that trust with them that you want to make sure you have right off the bat.
Anything to add there, Monica?
Yeah, so a lot of it too is we're also very transparent. Some of us are fortunate enough to have a sister community nearby.
Yeah.
So that's part of our wait list too. So we might, okay, so this may you might want to be with our community, but right now the other community actually has the studio that you can move into. When something moves over, then you can just move over. So that helps us fill two buildings, then maybe three. So it's just growing it, and it's not so much, it's not just one building you're looking at. You're looking at the wait list to be able to fill your building, but you don't want to lose that move in. So you want to put them into your sister community and have a great relationship with them where they know they're going to have a move out, which none of us want. But at the same time, you're opening up the rooms to be able to continue to cycle through because you'll also need to fill that for them whenever they are full as well.
I think that's a great thing to point out. Like, you really have to lean on your sister communities if you have them and lean on your team. And part of that is coming up with new ways to keep people excited. So, special things for that wait list. And even making sure that as people move in and they've been on that wait list, that they had a positive experience that they can share with current wait list people. So do you guys feel that once you have somebody move in that's been on a wait list, you can kind of leverage their experience with people that are considering joining your wait list?
Absolutely. I think that they are going to be the best ones to really discuss and talk and share with it. So I know that sometimes you can have a waitlist lunch and you can have people on the wait list come to lunch. And who better to host that lunch for them than the people who were on the wait list that can come in and share what their experience was like and how it was worth the wait.
Anything to add, Tiffany?
Yeah. I mean, to Monica's point, like kind of like your new resident socials that you have once a month, having a wait list lunch, like a lunch and learn of what's going on now, what's happening, and then including people that have been on the wait list and other residents that have been there for a while that are, just there to reinforce like it's worth the wait. Like we can't wait for you to move into, but it's worth the wait while you're waiting for your.
So when you guys are sending communications or your teams in communities are sending communications to these prospects, what do you find the best way to communicate with them is? Do you like to try to bring them in person? If they can't come in person, is it phone calls? I know you mentioned home visits. What do you find that's really successful?
Sure. So a little bit of everything. We want to do it all. And I'll let Monica talk about some really cute videos one of our sales director does. I mean, he's like the king of SalesMail in our company, but he sends out so many videos before events, after events, and I'll let her talk about that specifically. But yeah, we want to hit them from all fronts. So we want to call them. We want to just drop by their house for a home visit, bring them a nice gift. Again, if you've done your deep discovery, you know what you should bring them, their favorite tea, their favorite snack or anything that will make them smile, their favorite sports team, different things like that. But and bringing them into the community, the more you can bring them in person to your community, I feel like the more it solidifies that you've got them coming to your community. You're the one they trust. You're the one they want to be around. And they're meeting more people every time they come. They've met your whole operations team now. Now they're meeting more and more residents and you're really solidifying those relationships. So all of it, but I think we do a really good job of outside the box kind of fun videos. And so, Monica, you want to talk about that?
So we do have some great directors of sales that send out the best videos, but the specific person Tiffany was talking about, he is not afraid of the camera at all. He will dress in costume. He will take videos during events. And so a lot of times, especially here in Florida, we may have a lot of people that are not in state. So we send them and this is where you could be. Come join us. So it's always a personalized video. He could send that same one video to everybody in his wait list, everyone in his database, but he doesn't do that. He takes the time to know something special about them. If it's a 70s party and it's somebody who doesn't really care about music, why send it to them? So he might include them on something else, but it's very personalized, it's fun, it's engaging, and it's not just him. He might have, Lord forbid, I walk through that building, he will grab me and I'm on that video. I mean, it's one of those things that he is very engaged. He knows his wait list, he knows his prospects and knows something special and can cater that video to him. And they're seeing he is one of the top salesman people. When anybody's struggling, that's who I send them to.
They can see what you're doing. You're
Hmm.
not just seeing, um, telling them what's happened in the community. If they're not able to come, if we're not able to go send the bus out and pick them up, if we can record a video and show them what we're doing and the event that they're missing out on, the video just, speaks 1,000 words. It's so much of a greater impact than just telling them like, oh, we're having a great event coming up, walking them through the building with all the decorations set up and ready. Like, hey, like our luau starting in 2 hours. Like, hope you're still able to join us. We can't wait to see you. And to Monica's point, in costume, like he does all kind of fun costumes and hats and whatever the theme is, he's dressing up for it. And so having that excitement and theme and being able to lay eyes on that, and even families that are out of town that they can't come, it's letting them like, hey, like we really wish your mom was here with us today, but just want to know we're going to have a great event. This is the kind of things that your mom can look forward to whenever she becomes part of our family. Because video is just so powerful to be able to send out that message.
And it really connects you with the families. If you take that time to make it personalized, it really connects them.
Being able to show them that community is so much more impactful than just telling them about it. Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. Other different videos you can send is like monthly lifestyle recap videos of different events that you've done throughout the month. You can kind of record like a video of that, of just like a little highlight clip from all of your events and say, hey, like this is what June looked like at our community, and sending that through. Holiday celebrations, different things like that. You can kind of, again, video is so much more impactful if you can like record those clips and send it, and they can feel like they were actually there. And testimonials are good too. So like if you can, again, get someone that recently moved off the wait list, or maybe recently, moved into your community, or maybe someone that's been there for years, having them do stories about what they love about being in the community, what their day to day looks like, what they enjoy while they're there. And, especially if they met the loved one on their tour when they came in, being able to say, hey, like I really enjoyed meeting you yesterday. I really hope you choose to come here, and I can't wait to see you. Those are also, big things that you can kind of bring in as well.
Some of the videos that have been successful as well is when you do an update. If you have a room that came available, that it's their room, send a video of the room with the view and everything that was important to them. Because those are the ones that are going to be impactful. Those are the ones that are going to share to everybody on their family support team to say, okay, it's ready. I'm ready to go. Let's do this.
Absolutely. Sarah is trying to get back onto the stream. You guys don't see me very often, but we'll see if she can get back on. But we are getting close to time. So I did want to take a moment to prompt the chat. If any of you guys have any questions specifically for Tiffany or for Monica or for anyone on the SalesMail team as well, we're definitely open to hearing those questions. But I do love that at y'all's community and many of the communities in our chat that are SalesMail users, using the platform to show like, hey, you might not be here yet, but let's create that excitement to say, hey, this is what it's going to be like when you get here. Monica, especially that, hey, this is your unit. It's like we're getting it cleaned up for you. It's time for you to, get ready to come and be a part of the space. So I do think that is a great use case. Loving all the love in the chat. Thanks, guys. But like they said, we're all four of us that are behind the scenes and working on the Sizzle are all like on the Gulf Coast in Florida and Alabama. So we're experiencing Big Bertha herself.
That's right.
We do have some questions coming in. Donna asks, is there a cost to be on the wait list?
So for us, we collect the community fee up front, and they join our wait list. Now, we operate with the wait list as 100% refundable. If it is a true waitlist deposit, just so there's not really a risk for them, but that way we also know they're invested. So we collect that community fee, and then we also kind of like they're, I won't say like pay to play, but that way you're on the waitlist. We know you're serious about it, and we're going to make sure that we continue to engage constantly and invite you to events and meals and all the fun stuff.
A great point, because I do think there are probably some people who are going through the process who might not know that that's an expectation that they should have. I know a lot of people are saying a lot of the information that you all have shared has been really great information for them. Is there anything that maybe we've discussed in some of our pre-conversations, or that we, for the sake of time, moved on, that you did not get to quite discuss the way that you wanted to?
We were talking earlier about, when you get to that 100%, your first instinct. I remember whenever I first got to 100%, I was like, this is so great. Like, I'm just going to start working on parties, right? I'm like event planning now. I don't really have to do any selling. Like, I've done my job, right? Like, check, moving on. And I got humbled real quick. It's like, no, that's whenever you start building your wait list. And I was like, well, what's a wait list? Like, I've never done this
Mhm.
before. What does that mean? And so it's so funny, but that's like when the more the nurturing starts. I mean, you're nurturing your leads whenever you're working them before, but I mean, that shift of going to just building that list and getting more and more people on there is so excited. Uh, we will be glad to send you guys clips of his videos because they are so entertaining. I love it with his, like, we just had our luau in June. And so he had all the glasses. I mean, there were like pink flowers everywhere, all the decorations. And he was just walking through the community with decorations behind him, the courtyards behind him, and he's just talking about it. So it's awesome. Yes, we will send those clips in so we can include those if you guys would like to have them.
Amazing. Yes, that is one of my favorite things about watching videos that sales mailers create, is that there's so many fun and unique ways that people are using it. And it makes me want to live in a senior living community right now. I don't know about the rest of you, but I wish every day that I could live in one of the communities like that. And to everybody watching, we will be sending out the recording of this session, and we will include anything that you guys want to share, Tiffany and Monica, in that email as well. We are at the end of our time. The time always goes fast, even with our technical difficulties. Everyone in the chat, please say a quick goodbye to Sarah. She is not able to make it back on. Her power is still out. Thank you so much to Tiffany and Monica for joining us on this episode of the Senior Living Sizzle. Like I said, I'll be sending out that recording, and we hope you guys have a great week. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.